Adam, you just got back from Shooter Symposium. Did you take any classes while you were out there?
I did. It's not my focus while I'm out there, but I was able to sneak into one with an instructor that I hadn't been with before on a subject matter that I wanted to learn some more about. So I did get one in out of the 3 days.
Yeah, so it's an event that we go to, and they get like the country buffet of teaching, right? So they learn a little bit from a lot of instructors, and then they can use that to then decide if they want to do some further instruction with that instructor. Am I kind of on the mark on that one?
Yep. Yep. Or like if you are in an industry where you go to conferences and there's little breakouts, it's kind of like that. Or community college, high school, where you can kind of elect into the classes that you want to take, and there's a set number of time slots for the weekend. Um, so most students are taking over the 3 or 4 days, they're taking about three. I don't think you can take four now, but you can take three classes with three different instructors who you might otherwise pay the same amount and take a 2 or 3 day class from that one instructor. So I took SPR, or special purpose rifle, with Alex Hartman. In my professional life, one of the things we have to talk about quite a bit now on the law enforcement side is designated marksman stuff, or low power variables, which are very popular in our sport and everybody gets it. Well, it's new and crazy to them, so we have to explain it a lot. To the best that I can, I try to be as read up on that and maintain kind of the oral history of that whole evolution. It was kind of a DMR type class that I could take on a day that the schedule was open. So I kind of took it to get continuing education, get a little different perspective on the SPR rifle and its applications. So
Cool. So you're talking LPVO, low power
yep.
variable with like a 5.56.
Yep. So this class, they specified essentially a 223 rifle with a low power scope to like a 6 or a 10 or more capability. For those familiar, picture the Mark 12 from the military system. So really, this small frame AR 223-556 with some kind of scope, or a low power variable or an intermediate range scope. Like the guy next to me, he had a loophole Mark 5. I think it was like a 3 to I think it was like a 3 to 20 or something like that. So kind of an intermediate range class, if you will, because really we didn't do anything inside of 100, and then we went out to 600 is really what we were going for. Yep, Mark 12 right there for those of you
Mark
following
12.
along. Yeah, which is a super cool rifle and a super cool story for those who are interested. Lots of cool information on that if you want to go down a rabbit hole on guns of the global war on terror. So in the SPR class, I mean, a lot of it's going to be very basic for anyone who's been shooting three gun for any length of time. I mean, we're talking intermediate range engagements. Essentially using the reticle to hit stuff that's beyond point blank. Point blank being holding dead and still hitting it. And so you learn a little bit about reticles. You learn a little bit about dialing for people who still think that's a thing. But and then a lot of it is building positions, because, and this is kind of my takeaway from this class I didn't really think about before. Like in our sport, when we shoot like this, we just have to hit the target one time. You got to hit this
Yeah.
target one time, and then you probably have to hit another target and make the clock stop.
Yeah. So you're shooting a target, neutralizing it, moving on to the next target, transiting to the next target.
Yep. Bang, hit, bang, hit, bang, hit. Um, in the tactical world, um, that's a person, and you might have to hit them more than one time to get them to stop what they're doing. So they're starting to talk about, like, how do we build a position and engage this target multiple times rapidly, to put down a threat, essentially. So how do we take this same 300-yard shot but try to hit it three times in a row as fast as we can? And so it's a lot of kind of the aha for me is this: it's nothing we don't do in pistols and burner rifle stuff and shotguns, but I've never done it on a long range stage before. I never really thought about it that way. To build a position and try to put multiple hits down, try to prep the trigger and hit a target again. Like I'm planning to shoot it 3 times and trying to time the shot with the recoil sequence as the gun lands again. So that was unique. And then I learned a little bit different reverse kneel too. I've always thought done reverse kneel is like putting your arm on your leg, where I learned like tucking your elbow on the outside of the knee, and then being able to essentially vary the height. Because like at some point you can only get so low kneeling before you have to like put your leg somewhere, especially if you're a dude with abdominal assets or investments. Eventually your anatomy starts getting in the way and you start to need to move out of the way. So taking a reverse kneel and moving my arm to the outside of my knee to get lower and still have some support, that was another thing I learned. And in a lot of these classes I'm picking up kind of nuanced stuff. And then also the saying that's going to be like our 2023, you have to know the rules before you can cheat. So that was kind of, he's like, I'm going to teach you what you need to get a hit so that you can figure out what you can get away with if you don't have the perfect shot, kind of is what, what do you actually need? What can you get away with on a larger target at, intermediate distances? So that's really what this class was about.
Yeah. I like that mentality where, there is a proper way to do it, but in absence of all the perfect conditions, what can you get away with?
Yeah. And, these shots in a match or in real life, rarely does the perfect shot present itself. It's always some sliding scale of, making it happen before, while the window is present, so.
Yeah. All right, cool. So would you take the class again?
No, because I already took it. But I would recommend it. I would recommend it to anyone who is going to Symposium. If Alex is doing the class again at Symposium, I would absolutely recommend taking the class. Have you not already taken it? And I didn't have a rifle or the proper ammunition to take his precision rifle class, which he was teaching the next day, which was more of the turn bolt stuff and the longer range stuff. And I would probably look towards taking that class next year to kind of go deeper into the subject matter, to take the, I took 101, let's take 201 now, is kind of where I would look on that.